Going live, live, live. Hello, everybody. Live. Let me make sure that everybody can hear me. Tom Caldabiano here. Everybody loves Raymond 360 live. Why is it called 360? Because I just took a lot of pictures and video from every different angle. So that was kind of that took hours of brainstorming and screaming and stuff like that. So let's go here. Let's go live on Instagram so they don't feel neglected. Yes, look at that frame. Okay, yeah, and those pieces of. Hi, everybody. A weekend, a Sunday. We've been visiting you every Sunday for it's almost 5 years now. And when I first started, I thought, what am I going to talk about for the next 3 weeks? And now we're 5 years in. Okay, let me look. I'm looking at my notebook here, waiting for people to join. Let's see. Oh, there's a blank page. Things to talk. Oh, I have my new camera set up too. Let me just. That is exciting. So let's just do this. Let me search for somebody here. And a lot of you have commented, "Hey, do I hear an airplane?" Yes. It's not in the studio with me, but it could be. That's how loud it sounds. Okay, it's somebody's birthday today. Can do that. All right, let's say hi to a bunch of people. Let's bring up some. Let's use as much technology as we can possibly get. Hi, Michelle. Here, let's bring these up. Look at that. That is technology. Donnell, hello from Austin. Donnell, I'm really sorry that we missed you in Austin. That would have been great. Gil, how are you? How's the ironing going? Is that what you're doing today? Ironing. Gil over in the United Kingdom. Hi, Anita. I am well. Hello, again. Now, Jane, you had a lobster roll today. Is that what I read? Am I remembering that? Hi, Janet Duffin from Scotland. There we go. Let's put that up there. Tina King in Tennessee. Of course, Annabelle. Happy Sunday. Yes. We are talking all things Everybody Loves Raymond. I am Tom Caldabiano. I was a writer on Everybody Loves Raymond for all 9 seasons. And then I also, behind the scenes, not officially, but unofficially, took a bunch of behind the scenes photos. We did a book using them called Everybody Loves Raymond, Our Family Album. I met Ray doing stand-up at the Improv in New York City a long time ago. And I am friends with all of them now. All of them being the cast, the crew, etc. Hello from New Jersey. Judith Oliveri Arbel. That sounds Italian. I got to be honest. No Scotland, no party. Interesting. Is that a political statement? I don't really know. Hi, Virginia. Hi, Amy. Hi, Charlene. That's a pretty name. I don't see Charlene a lot. Do I? I don't think so. Okay. So, what I've started to do is kind of review what I've posted on the Facebook page and answer questions that come up from those posts, which is really good. Now, let me just see there. Okay, I'm looking. Now, if you like, thanks to Donnell, let me get rid of this. Let me bring up this. Let me just do this. Now, thanks to Donnell, do we see this? Can the camera stay with me? Yeah. So right there, we're displaying all of our mugs. And Donnell gave me a good, I guess they're called risers or something like that, that help you see what you want people to see. What does it mean? Stagger the heights of the mugs so they are not blocked by anybody. That's our AIS mug. Let me see, what mug am I drinking from? Oh, I have fancy tea again. Oh, and Deb Tucker Frank sent me a bunch of tea, which is in my car, I think. But this is the fancy tea that Raymond gave me after an Emmy party. Emmy, you read about celebrities getting those, what are they called? Swag bags. And you go, hey, there's a bunch of rich people getting more stuff. That's the skeptical side, all right? Now, let me check this. What is this flavor? Estate Darjeeling, okay? Estate Darjeeling. That sounds fancy by adding the word estate, which is better than basement or rec room Darjeeling, which is not as good. Okay, so we'll try. And again, anything that comes in this much prep. So here you go. I feel like, okay, I'm letting some of the, I feel like I want a shirt made out of this material, which dare I even? So autofocus is off, I guess. No? But look at that. That is, I wish I could show you guys the thickness of that material. It's like a netting. It's just impressive. And again, I get no promotional consideration for promoting that tea. But I do have my AIS mug, and let's have a sip. Okay, so I alluded to birthday. Now I'm going to show you this new feature in 1 second. Let's catch up on some more hellos. I like visiting everybody every week. Wow, I have a lot of stuff here. I'm looking for, I don't know. What am I looking for? The very thing, pair of scissors. Okay, let's say hello to people. Look how good, by the way, everything is looking today. Okay, let me catch up on these. Tom, you sound like a news reporter. You would be a great news reporter. Okay, I'll take that as a compliment. Yeah, I don't know news reporter, but I was, by the way, if you watch news radio, not news radio, if you watch Broadcast News, a James L. Brooks movie with, who is it? Albert Brooks and Holly Hunter. He gives, William Hurt also plays a not that intelligent guy who's able to deliver the news. But one of the tips is sit on the back of your jacket. And now I know what he's talking about, because your jacket does this, it bunches up. So there you go. That would qualify me as I could be a newscaster. Hi, Lisa. Okay, let me scroll down and answer some specific questions. Let me see. Michelle Stevens, LOL. No, someone was from Scotland, referencing how fun Scotland was during the World Cup, right? Yes, that's what you're saying. Awesome. It's the Scottish football team chant. No Scotland, no party. Okay. By the way, I've just been outed as somebody that I do not watch much of anything, clearly. So, hi, Janet. Is it hot out there? Humid here in Massachusetts. So, just watching a quite scary horror movie. Just glad it's over. Anita, why did you do that to yourself? I just got the yellow mug. Love it. Denise, that's awesome. Furicano, let me bring that up just so it doesn't seem like I'm making that up. Also a nice Italian name. Blackpool, United Kingdom. Okay, so how did, let me see. Hello from Tom, yes, in New Hampshire. So it is humid here. Now, I'm from New Jersey, so you don't pronounce the H. You say humid. And people go, what are you trying to say? It's humid, but we don't say that in New Jersey. One of the beauties of Southern California, if you have never been here, or San Diego or wherever, is we usually have almost no humidity. And so when you go back to New Jersey or the East Coast or the Midwest or wherever they have abundance of humidity and your hair curls and everything is moist, it's not, I don't enjoy it, even though I enjoy the East Coast. So, but there you go. So yes, unfortunately, it has been rather humid here, which is really quite the exception for us. And we even notice we'll be like, hey, is it humid here? It'll be like 70%. You know, we could have humidity talk all day, and that would. Tom, is it weird? Okay, let me do this. Tom, is it weird to see us quoting your scripts when you post photos? I love, my voice cracked for some reason, don't know why. Remembering my favorite lines from the shows you post photos of. Marie would have a problem with you ending with that preposition, but we can look the other way. So no, I mean, I think, if you look at, is it weird? No, it's awesome that actually you guys know the show better than me as far as broadcast and having watched it over and over again. So no, it's great that you guys quote the lines, and I've learned a lot. When I have to find something out, even when I'm with Ray, and Ray's like, do you remember what episode's that from? I will post on Facebook, and then like Ray and I are at lunch, and I'll go, Ray, I'll get the answer for you within 15 minutes or maybe 4 minutes. Hi, Alexander Joseph. Are there any 2000 sitcom actors you personally wished you saw on ELR? I would have liked to see Drew Carey. Drew Carey, a great guy. I will tell you a little Drew Carey story. I would like to see Drew Carey on ELR or John C. McGinley as like an old friend of Ray's. Now, that's a great question. So here's a little trivia for those Raymond fans. Ray Romano did Johnny Carson. He performed on The Tonight Show before it ended. Tonight Show hosted by Johnny Carson, and he ended up getting bumped. So what happens a lot is you're an unknown comedian, and when you get bumped, it's because some giant celebrity went long or something, and so you get bumped. What does that mean? You're ready, usually, to make your national TV debut, and then your manager says, you're not going on Friday. And you go, what? Okay, I was so psyched up because this is the biggest moment of my life. So that happened to Raymond a couple of times. I happened to be in Los Angeles when Ray did The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. Complete coincidence, but I ended up going to The Tonight Show, and that's a whole nother long story about somebody having to save a joke that Ray was not supposed to be able to tell. What does that mean? It means the guy that saw Ray, wow, what is his name? He is the booker, and it'll come to me. But he saw Ray doing a joke, and he said, Johnny Carson will not like that joke. He said, my boss wouldn't like that joke. And so what ended up, the short of it is, I've told the longer version of this, but there was a 24-hour period where Robert Klein and Ray's manager got involved, and they tried to save this joke, which they did, and Ray ended up closing with that joke, and it's the hardest that Johnny laughed of Ray's entire set was the joke that his, let me think now, Macaulay, is that his name? Macaulay was the booker. He said, my boss won't like it, and in fact, his boss loved it. Now, why was that significant? Well, when you do a set, when you do a TV set, it's 6 minutes exactly, and you rehearse it 1,000 times because even for me, I remember I entered a comedy contest that Ray, unknown to me who Ray Romano was, but he had won it a few years earlier, 100 comedians start, and then it narrows it down. And I made it to the finals, which was 3 days, so the final 10 I made it to. But I remember I lost the feeling in my arms before I was about to go on stage because it was such a big thing to me. So what you don't want for a comedian is to be like, oh, that's my closer. That's the joke that I know always gets a laugh, and it puts me at ease. So that's why significance, it's not, it's just a joke. Why is he so uptight about that? Now, getting back to Drew Carey. Drew Carey did The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson before Raymond did it. Drew Carey gets a TV deal, ends up being The Drew Carey Show, becomes famous. Ray Romano gets bumped, doesn't do The Tonight Show when he's supposed to, does not get a development deal, does not become famous, goes back to his, what do you call, attached house in Queens with his 3 kids and his wife and struggling with not being able to earn enough money. So that Drew Carey tie was always the question, what if Ray didn't get bumped and did it? Would he have killed? Would he have gotten a TV show earlier? You know, and it's one of those things that you'll never know. I finally met Drew Carey recently. There was a fundraiser because everybody was on strike. And we were at this, Ray invited me, as did, I'll have to find I could find photos and show them. That might be a tough one though, because I can't remember the name of it, or I just remember Drew Carey was there. And Jason Alexander was there. And I talked to Drew Carey for quite some time, a very nice guy. And what Drew Carey would do during the strike is anybody that went into Bob's Big Boy, if you look up Bob's Big Boy on Riverside Drive in Burbank, California, he bought lunch for every single actor that went in. So when he came out, for this benefit on stage, there was a thunderous applause. And I personally didn't know. I'm like, wow, who likes Drew Carey that much? I'm not saying that in a mean way, but it was like, you know, the thunderous applause in a sea of famous people, including Bryan Cranston, who we talked to on the way out out of that theater. So Drew Carey is beloved because he's like, I'll pay for all their meals. So but that's a little Raymond lore. What would have happened had Ray Romano not been bumped on The Tonight Show? Okay. Excellent question. Here we go. Let's scroll down. Hi, Tom from Rainy, Virginia. Hi, Carol. It's funny because so many names now, so many years, and I getting to know the geography of everybody. Deb, Tucker, Frank. I know I have extra. I have tea next week. I will drink one. I can only drink one tea at a time. Well, that's not true. I think I had 7 coffees this morning. Okay, let's see this one from Deb, Tucker, Frank. Boob job. I could stop right there. Episode 1. What is it? 154. Episode 1, season 4. Sorry. Since clearly I'm overdue to see my eye doctor, since Lou Schneider based this storyline on a real experience where a hostess showed his wife her new implants at a Super Bowl party, what do you remember about him pitching that for the writer's room? Did the real fallout of his wife match Ray and Deborah's tension? Yes. Okay. So excellent question, Deb. So for those of you who don't know, and this gets a mixed reaction boob job episode because it's, whose side are you on in the boob job episode? Okay. Here's a little trivia. So I had Lou and his wife were a guest at the height of COVID when we were doing this, and they were telling the story. So yes, there was a fallout because what happened was this woman had breast implants. She showed Lou's wife. So anytime a man misses out on the opportunity to see a woman's breast, that's a bad thing for the man, especially with a bad Super Bowl party where you're only having, bad hors d'oeuvres, et cetera, and the game isn't even that good. So there's that element, but they're there that night in bed, and she says, do you think I need implants? And what Lou said in the writer's room when he recounted it, and he's recounted it, on our live things, on our live stage show as well, is he paused. He paused for too long of a period of time that's acceptable. And that period of time is 0. There can be no pause when your wife says, do you think I'm fat? Do you think I'm ugly? Do you think that girl is pretty? Anything at all, no pauses. So that caused a bit, and Lou Schneider's wife is a lovely, attractive person, let's just say that, very intelligent. I think they met at the University of Pennsylvania. So yes, there was that fallout. And so Lou was telling the story and recounted in the writer's room in the fight that he and his wife had. And I think I've said this to you about 100 times. The worse our lives are, the better the TV show is. So when bad things happen to us, that became good episodes. Nobody wants to see stories of people winning the lottery and dating beautiful people and not having any challenges. That does not make for an interesting episode. And I say that many times when people are like, why are they fighting all the time? Well, conflict helps you with comedy. Okay. Let's go. So excellent question, Deb, Tucker, Frank. And I think, do we like that episode? Like, we're mad at Ray, right? A lot of women are mad at Ray. And, one of her best lines is, these are working breasts. These were working breasts. So did Raymond have a double for the show? Scene. Hi, Linda. I don't want to get Marie on you. Did Raymond have a double for the show? Seen something about that on the last episode after the show. Yeah. So it's kind of exhausting, not for me, but I feel bad because there's also a lot of animosity behind it, where people write very angry comments. And let me see if I can find a photo here. So a stand-in. A stand-in is somebody who is approximately the same complexion, height, and looks, let me see, as the star. Okay, let me just see. Okay, so let me just see this. Now we're going to use the new feature, folks. Get ready. Oh, here we go. Let's see all photos of him. Okay, so this. I'm trying to get pictures that will help clarify. Okay, there we go. That's not bad. Let's do this one. Trust me, folks, I'm not. So our friend Wolfgang, let's try this. Here we go. That new feature, okay? Look at this. This is phenomenal. So that's Wolfgang, okay? That's Ray Romano's stand-in. He is Austrian, so he sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to me. Oh, this is good. This is beyond awesome. Okay, so now I'm going to post a picture that gets very confusing to people. Let's see in this ratio how it looks. Oh, that's my 3. Yes. Does that? Okay. It gets truncated for Instagram. Okay. So people write. Let me make it vertical for. Okay. Now it's in, don't worry. I'll zoom in again. These are all the stand-ins. These are the main stand-ins on Everybody's Raymond. Okay. So now here we go. I love this. Okay. Here we go. Now we're talking. So I have posted this in the past, and I'm sorry, Instagram, but there's Peter Boyle stand-in for a while. That's Ray's stand-in. That's Brad Garrett stand-in. That's Patricia Heaton stand-in. And that's Doris Roberts stand-in. Okay, so let me go back to one there. So sorry, for Instagram people, you are only seeing Wolfgang, Joe, and Sarah. So what does the stand-in do? The stand-in, okay, because you're looking at them going, I don't know them. Now, you might recognize all of them were on the show in some capacity, but not as the confusing thing, which is people think there's a body double or a stunt double. That's a completely different function. Those guys you see, they're driving the car. I was going to say Tom Cruise, but Tom Cruise pretty much does all his own stunts. But they're driving the car and they look just like him. Like Chuck Norris had a body double who looked just like him. These people have to stand in the position where the actors are while the cameramen, the lighting crew, the grip, they figure out how to light it and how to shoot it. So what you don't want is there, and there's Doris's stand-in, okay? You don't want Doris Roberts standing on her feet for 4 hours while they try and figure out the lighting. She has to be rehearsing her lines. So that's a stand-in. A stand-in, every single actor on TV has a stand-in. If they're a star, they might have the same stand-in for their entire series. If they're a occasional player, guest actor, whatever, they'll get somebody for that day. But a stand-in is a very, very, very important aspect of the show, and it just gets confusing. So, and I wouldn't expect you to know that. How would you know that? Let me see. I think, see this, I'm going to take advantage of this new ability. Let's see. Here is, yeah, I'm indulging myself. 3, right? Yes. So that's me and Wolfgang at some function. He's an amazing violin player, by the way, Wolfgang, and his father was a conductor in Austria. So that's me and Wolfgang. And then I think I just ran into him. I think he lives in Austria now. And now here we are, 20 years later. How great is this function now? That's 20 years later. I ran into him outside of a store. So there you go. A lot of stand and talk, but I appreciate the question because it seems to confuse people a lot. I don't know. I guess it's, it's the mechanics of making a TV show that most people aren't familiar with. Hi, Michelle Stevens. I didn't watch the World Cup or just social videos on the Scottish in Boston. So fun. Okay. I like that. I guess I missed some of that. Hello from Staten Island. Where? Tottenville, maybe? There used to be a comedy club there called Grandpa's Comedy Club, Grandpa Al Lewis from the Munsters. Okay, let's see this. Annabelle. At first, I thought that was a blank computer TV screen over top of the mugs and canister. Is it plastic? Maybe you can dangle some of the ELR ornaments from the top. If it was magnetic, you could put some ELR magnets. Oh, okay. That's a lamp. Is that, Annabelle, is that what you're talking about? This? You're talking about that lamp? It is on, I believe, right? The light is on. We can change. You want me to I'll show you a magic trick. I will change the color. What color should we change? Well, any color just to show a change. Yeah, I guess, if it was more of a canted angle, you might see more depth. So there you go. That's a nice shade. We can vote on the best shade. But Annabelle, yeah, that's it doesn't have a lot of texture. So, and we can go back. What did we like? Red? I don't know. Tom Caltabiano here, writer on Everybody's Raymond, talking all things Everybody's Raymond. By the way, we're going to expand a little to 90s nostalgia, I think, and 2000s nostalgia. So, Annabelle, yeah, the challenge. So let me just tell you about the set, because you guys have been really suggesting a lot for the set. The challenge is you don't want it to be too busy because, as Phil Rosenthal used to say, if they're paying attention to the back of our set on Ever's Raymond, then we have a really boring episode. If they're like, I wonder where they get their glasses. So the challenge is you don't want to be too busy. You also don't want it to be too bare. You don't want it to look like you put a sheet up in your garage and you're broadcasting there, et cetera. So, but I think for Christmas we will take on that. We will do that Christmas tree idea, et cetera. Okay, let's scroll. Let me take a sip. I've been talking nonstop. Out of the favorite mugs, let's see. Let me see. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Yeah, still no autofocus, Matt. So, yeah, here we go. Yes, our favorite quote. That's a good one. Okay, I will take a sip.
Try to change the setting.
There was an attempt, or?
Try it next time.
Okay, there we go. A little break. Let's catch up on questions before, I think I have a snack too, right? Oh, you can see the canister. Where is this? So it's a birthday. That's what I was going to say. 2 birthdays this week. Hi, Michelle Stevens. I'm in New Jersey. It's becoming the new Hollywood, the perfect venue for an ELR event. Yeah, I would come to ELR. I would come to New Jersey, and I know what you really mean is the whole cast and some type of big function. Now, on Fort Monmouth, is it Fort Monmouth that converted is it a giant Netflix studio or it's a standalone studio? It's Netflix, yeah. New Jersey. I don't know why. Is there a tax by the way, just a little insight into Hollywood. It's all about money. You know you want to be creative and all that stuff. Like, no stand-up, I should say, goes in it. You know, Ray Romano did not go into stand-up to make a TV show and make a lot of money. So he failed in that regard by becoming successful. But when it comes down to making movies, the idea that any movie gets made is astounding when I see all the obstacles. But if you're getting a tax incentive, the production will go there. That's why there's so many in like Louisiana and Mississippi, like where it's just miserable humidity, and nothing against those states. But California was originally ideal because it's clear a long time. You don't get shut down by et cetera. So there must be some tax incentive there. Let me see there. Let me see this. Hi, Anita. Tom. I work in a place where many people have found their life partners. Not been lucky myself in that department. I would love to know if any of the cast or crew members have fallen in love on set. Let me think now. I'm sorry, I'm moving in my chair. I can't think of any. There were a lot of kids born during Raymond, and there's a thing called Kids of Raymond. But did anybody? I know there was a writer who was able to contribute a lot of scripts where he did not seem to be good at marriage, and that did end. That marriage did end. So the opposite way, met and fell in love on the set. I can't think of one. I know it sounds sad, but also, I think if you're talking about like in an office environment or school environment where people are younger, almost every writer was already married. Every male writer was married at the beginning of the show. So, and also there's a level of professionalism, I guess. There's, it wasn't a good dating pool. Excellent question. Never been asked before. I love it. Hi, Melissa. Happy Sunday from Hampstead, Maryland. Oh, I wonder if that's anywhere near the Fly Lady, who's down in Maryland. Yes. Okay, Bob. Yeah, so John, okay, let's go back to that question. That's an excellent question. Hello, Bob. Yes, good and plenty in the writer's room. I went to a candy store yesterday, posted that, a huge response. In Newhall Pass called Rocket Fizz. That's the name of a soda and the name of the place. John C. Is there any, going back to that question, because we're talking about Drew Carey, Bob Odenkirk, who Better Call Saul, and what's his name? We wanted David Cross, but he was, I think, trying to see a girl from Sweden or something. I remember it was a funny story. Brian Posehn went on then. But, Bob Odenkirk became a giant star. So having him even before then was great because he is great. Raymond wasn't like Friends where they had just guest star after guest star. Everything took place in the house. So there really wasn't that much opportunity. John Manfrotati was a friend of Raymond's and a very funny stand-up. Andy Kindler, Phil loved Andy Kindler, who did a great job on the show. So I think if the show had been more like Friends, where you had a whole bunch of opportunities to have a bunch of guest cast, then it would have been a much better opportunity. But yeah, John C. McGinley would have been great. Drew Carey, and it's weird because you can't. Bob Odenkirk was great because I guarantee you 99% of you, when you saw Bob Odenkirk, he was in the high school reunion episode, and then also when they're pitching the go-kart company. You probably didn't know he was just an actor, a good actor who actually was a stand-up comedian. Okay, let me see. And I will say this. When I had friends, not actors, just people who are like, can I be in the background in an episode? I said yes, but there's so few of them. It was not a good to know. We were not good to go to get you on camera because the show all took place in the living room. Hello, Deb. Let me scroll down and catch up because I lose it. When they did the Neighbors episode, did Frank have a stand in when he went outside to get the newspaper? Oh, have a stand-in? Nope, that was him. But again, stand-ins are never, there's no body double. So stand-ins the stand-in did the exact action that Frank did. And what would happen, it's an excruciatingly long process. Let me see. Can I find this on my newfangled machine? I don't want to abuse this ability, but hold on. January 2025. No, that's wrong. Hold on. What I'm doing, I'm going to see if I can find a picture. So, yes. So, that is the picture that Jim Dunn took from on top of a ladder. That is the director of photography, Mike Berlin. That is the head of the lighting department, Bill Fine. And this is Ken, who was also in the grip department. That angle. Now, a couple things here. This is phenomenal. And I apologize, Instagram. I got to keep track of too many things for Instagram. I believe my friend Bobby has that. And that rooster lamp. That bread box is in my house right now. I should use it as a bread box. Nobody wanted that bread box, oddly. But this angle has never been seen before. You guys are seeing it for the first time. What's on the windowsill there? Let's see. Does that soap detergent have color? Might do the exact same thing, but it's more professional light. But excellent question. Okay. Ohio, home of Patricia Heaton and Steve Scrovan. Ohio's a lot of movies made here, especially Cleveland. Yes, Steve Scrovan. Hi, Lynn Van Orden. Why is that name familiar to me? Oh, yes, I've known you forever. That's right. That's a lamp, LOL. I couldn't figure it out. What the heck was happening? You have to change the shade blue or black. I don't know. I suck at decorating. You can't give advice and then say you suck at decorating. Would you like to, I'm hearing some feedback. We're not loving this shade. Is that what I'm hearing? Because we can change it to any color. I don't know. Is it too bland of a color? Should we try a red right now? No, we've tried them. We've tried a lot.
It's the shape.
Oh yeah, the shape is nondescript, rectangular thing. So we're going to have to look into that. But the beauty is that it has shelves that can support the canister, which is just out of reach, and our mugs. Okay. Now I'm excited to talk about the photos. Michelle Stevens, yes. What is Fort Monmouth? Yes, Mr. Show, Bob Silva. So what Bob Silva is talking about, one of the few things, and I just met a guy who was on it recently. One of the few shows that we would watch in the Everett Raymond Writers Room was Mr. Show, featuring David's Records or Young Girl, where it feels like, okay, this could happen. And I feel like but this could happen, but it didn't happen to somebody in real life. I feel like the sister one, because I don't think that writer had a sister in real life. I think it was an idea like, wouldn't it be interesting if Deborah had a sister? So that is kind of the explanation. Marie's house doesn't make sense to me. How would they get upstairs? Through the laundry room? So we think, okay, so two things. If you're an architectural genius, or not even a genius, even lower level IQ architect, the houses will drive you insane, okay? Because it doesn't make sense. The outside doesn't match the inside, and sometimes they exit here when the car comes through the wall. Where's the front steps, etc. And as Phil would say, if people are worried about that, we're making a very boring show, and you don't know at the time that the show is going to last forever. For example, Seinfeld, their hallway, they laid it out, and they're like, it physically doesn't make sense. But it's a good thing to have people analyzing a show so closely. I think their steps would be, for Frank and Marie's house, past the piano in back there, because they come out through there. But it is hard. It'd be interesting to go into the real house and see what it is. Hi, Kathleen, Izo, Hain. I've been watching ELR. Let me just bring this. I've been watching ELR for years, and it always gets me how comfortable they are. And I somewhat believe in my heart they really are family. I guess that's a good thing. Yeah. 9 years of getting along, and I've worked on shows that don't do well and shows that do well. And generally, if you're on a hit show and all the actors are making a lot of money and winning awards, the mood is much better than on a show that is not doing well and might be canceled. So yeah, I'm glad you've been watching for all that time. Excellent, excellent question. Paramount Studios coming to Bayonne and Lionsgate coming to Newark. Okay, so is there a huge tax incentive? There has to be. Let me see. Bit of Bing. Okay. So the Christina, yes. Christina, from The Annoying Kid, did Ray and his wife ever have that problem? No. But I do believe Lou Schneider, who wrote The Annoying Kid, which I know a lot of you guys hate that episode. It's really well done. Just like the janitor episode, the faux pas. It happened to Lou Schneider, and he did a great job writing that script. It's just that it's Annoying Kid, and guess what? An Annoying Kid is really annoying in real life and going to be annoying to watch. And I do know that when Lou wrote that, I believe his wife was concerned that the people who were the parents would realize, hey, they're talking about us. Okay. Who in the writer's room called the Good and Plenty cuties? So many funny lines. Yeah, I don't remember whose episode that was or who wrote that. We love the pictures, Tom. I don't think there was an actual sink if there was plumbing. I don't think, there was plumbing, there was a sink, yes. So Deborah's real husband is Parker on the show? Yes. The nun storyline, to have Jenner decide to become nun. Yeah, that was all from the writers. So, Fun Gadget, yes. Love seeing these different angles of your pictures. Definitely wouldn't see these interesting features anywhere else. Hi, Alexander Joseph. Follow-up question to something I asked a while back. Okay, I'm going to take a sip. This could be a long one. Estate Darjeeling. Is that how you say it? Alexander Joseph, follow-up question, Tom. I asked a while back, did you ever find out when Deborah does that gesture when she says thank you in the series finale? Was that sign language after the doctor said Ray was okay? She does this gesture. I don't remember you asking that question. That's a great question. So what does she do? Does she, because she's visibly upset because we think Ray is dying. That's a great question, Alexander. I'm going to try and remember that. How do I remember that? I'm going to take a screen grab. I'm going to write it in crayon in my notebook. Okay, let's see. I probably missed this because I was feeding. Yes, what's the pink thing on the wall?
Somebody answered it.
Okay. Yes, Mona. So the lamp has caused so many comments. The square lamp, it's a pink thing. So it's a lamp shade, and we could take it off and you'd see a bare bulb. But we've had a lot of feedback. So far, everybody's loved everything, but the lampshade, you know why also? You don't see the top of it. So it just seems like the 2001 Space Odyssey monolith, right? But that's not the feeling we were going for. Homey basement feeling, not 2001 Space Odyssey monolith. Although there may have been monkeys in this area. Let me see. It's fine. It just doesn't look like a lamp. Now, Michelle Stevens is saying, please make it blue. I still look for the wire hen egg holder. Never see it. Yes, where can we find that? Did the cooker ever get replaced in Ray and Deborah's kitchen? The cooker, is that the stove? I don't know. All right, I love these questions. Let me scroll down before we. Let me see. I love this episode. So I wanted to say, watching Raymond. Yes, I see why my mom never cared to put up with other people's kids because they can be annoying. Interesting. Yes, that is true. Any kid but your own is annoying. Kathleen, the episode when Michael refused to go to school, when he sits at Ray's workstation and he tells Michael the embarrassing story when he played ball when he was young, is so touching and a great episode. Oh, that is very nice. That is very nice of you to say. Okay. Now we're going to take advantage. This is a photo. So my friend Jim Dunn was the key grip on Raymond, and he is no longer with us, but he left me all his photos. So he had photos that when I started looking through them, I'm like, wow. Now this photo is somewhat poignant to me, even though it can be also banal and maybe mundane even. Okay, so what is that photo? That is Phil Rosenthal, just happens to be in the kitchen, and he's looking at the toaster and the coffee maker. And Phil was not, there's Phil. No danger of getting hit by a car because Phil's wearing the most reflective sneakers. I wish everybody would wear reflective sneakers. So Phil just happens to be looking, and Jim Dunn caught that image. How great is that? And Phil created this juggernaut, and now he's kind of looking at the coffee maker in the kitchen just casually. All right, let me see if there's any more. Yes, even this. Wow. See, here we go, folks. That's the blank. That's this. Here's Phil, just happens to be sitting at the table, also looking around, and there is writer Aaron Shore. Right there. That jacket says Worldwide Pants. David Letterman would give us a jacket every Christmas, and that's his company, Worldwide Pants. How great is this feature? This is unbelievably good. A lot of confusion, not about Phil's haircut, but about that. That is a canister that holds flour, sugar, I almost said water, flour, sugar, and a bunch of other stuff in there. So now this feature, let me see if there's any other. Jim Dunn, yes, see all these. Okay, here we go. There you go. This is a perspective. Again, I shouldn't do this all at once. George Fundora, key grip. This is a view of the stage that you don't usually get to see. Those are the 5 monitors. It's called a quad split. And then the top is the feed that the audience is seeing. What has the switcher picked for the audience to see? That's very on top. It happens to be blurry now. There's Scott Spiegel on the right, who works for Jimmy Kimmel now. There's Ken Ornstein, who visited with us on something called a landline. I know all these people, but this perspective you don't get to see. This is really a great perspective. Phil Rosenthal in there. There's Phil with his haircut. David Deschamps right there, who was a focus puller. So this is a really unique shot, everybody, that I couldn't get. Why couldn't I get it? They generally frowned on writers climbing ladders during run-throughs, so that's why I wish Jim Dunn were still alive to be able to thank him. Sorry, I'm not trying to make you seasick. Okay, so there, yeah. So there you can see, there we go. Okay, there is the crew at work, and there is Bert up in a ladder. So this is when stand-ins would be coming in, okay? So now they're adjusting flags, they're adjusting lights. Flags are flat pieces of black material that they help shape the light, okay? So you see all those lights up there. All those lights, they have to shape them with black foil wrap, black, everything black, to try and point it. So they know that, when there's an actor standing by the refrigerator, he has a shadow or she has a shadow on the left side of their head. Let's get rid of that shadow, everybody. That might be an hour of work because they don't want to create other shadows elsewhere. And this gentleman is Sly and the Family Stone's son, right there. Okay, there you go. Wow, this feature is very dangerous, very dangerous. Okay, there's our Fonzie-looking guy. So so these were all taken by Jim Dunn, and there we go. There's early on, okay. The In-Laws, season 1, you can tell right away. Wow, this feature is, I mean, I think we could do 2 hours. All right, let's answer some more questions before we guess a script, and then we take a snack. How long did it take to film one episode? 1 week. What happens to all the outtakes that don't make it to the show? Honestly, I would watch the raw footage to see the process. That would be so cool. So I have to digitize about 1,000. Digitize means put into a format that I can share with you versus you having to come to my house and I show it to you on a projector. I have an incomplete episode from beginning to end, the whole process. So, which would be good. Okay, let's keep track of the time. Yes, okay. Love the picture of the crew adjusting the light. What a great addition to the cast. Would love to know more about how he was cast. A talented writer who also did Seinfeld. I don't know who you're talking about. Maybe you have to be talking about for the most part, yeah. Okay, let me see if there's one other picture that I want to. Okay, this is a money picture right here. Here we go. I'm very surprised that this exists because you generally didn't. Okay, so that is Brad Garrett right there. Okay, posing for Jim Dunn, who was a bit of a photographer himself. This was actually with a digital camera though. But Brad is standing in the kitchen and look what we have there. The fork and spoon. Do I have the fork and spoon magnet? I had one here. It used to be at the bottom of that. That's the beauty of this is I can do anything I want. So there's the grease stained, which is now in Tucker Cawley's house. The grease stained around the fork and spoon, etc. But what a great, let me go wide here. Just Brad Garrett posing in the kitchen, wearing, looks like Ugg boots and a smile. So there you go. That was the end of the show. That's why Jim would ask for that photo, and I'm very glad he did. But look at that kitchen empty. It's a rare sight. It's empty. Wow, that's really, really cool to see. That's awesome. All right, let's guess a script. Shall we guess a script? Let me just catch up, make sure. A gaffer once told me it's all about lighting. Sorry about Jim Dunn. Yes, he has not been with us for a while. Talking about Fred Stoller. Yes, thank you, Janet. Yes, Fred Stoller, a stand-up comedian who Raymond knew from way back in the time. That's how I spent my 20s, up on a ladder or electrics adjusting lighting instruments. Kathy Pine, who usually guesses things very quickly. What were you doing then, Kathy? Okay. Did the crew actually have to take a really messy final photo, the Christmas picture, to use as a physical prop later in the episode? And does anyone from the crew still own a copy of the disastrous family portrait? Excellent question, Deb Tucker Frank. I do not know. What's weird is I didn't take a picture of that moment at the end of the show, and I don't know of anybody who has that photo. That would be under the props department, and that would be a question for Rhonda, who I can, of course, guess. Yeah, what you're gonna. Oh, you know what I really feel bad about? I did neglect Instagram. So let's go over to Instagram. Let's see if there's one possible thing on Instagram that somebody. Yeah, see. When you neglect somebody, it's just like in a relationship. If you don't listen to them, they stop talking. And so that's, let's see, I'll scroll. So Instagram people, I do apologize. All right, a script. So for those of you that are new, I am Tom Caltabiano. I save from the dumpster 210 of these scripts. Every week I try and hold up a script that I saved from the dumpster, which is a wardrobe script, which has Polaroid photos of every single cast member, every single wardrobe change from every single episode. Okay, I don't think I can state it any clearer. I can say it better, but I don't think clearer. Okay. And I do make fun, but it is kind of true that when I show pictures of Ray, it's almost impossible to catch for Ray to, catch that. So let me see, where am I? Okay, that's tight enough for Instagram. That's good. That's good. Raymond, that's a Polaroid. That's not quite good. That's Raymond, and there is Raymond in jeans and a shirt. Okay, that's why I make fun, because Ray dresses almost the same way for every episode. So if you've guessed it, if you guess it from this, then that's really quite a miracle. Okay, let me just scroll through here. Well, you might be able to catch it from this. I don't know. And by the way, I can see the writer of the episode. Oh, my brad has given loose. Okay, I have to tighten this. I could see the writer of the episode. I'm not going to give you the clue who, but he is from Cleveland. So, and I see him standing next to Ray. Okay, so what you're seeing, the slowdown is I'm putting the brad. The brad is the little brass thing that holds a script together, and that came apart. You would think they'd hold together after 30 years, but no. Okay, so let me just see. Okay, there we go. Try and get, it's hard to get, it's a reverse image. There is Raymond, boxer shorts, and here he is, leaning against the kitchen. Okay. What is he wearing? A shirt that's open with pants. Okay, so that's, let me see, let me scroll down. There's no way anybody guesses this episode from this. Annabelle, seems like from the photo that Brad and empty kitchen fork and spoon left and for the right, maybe reverse. Yes, I think they're reversed because of my image, because that was the end of the episode. Excellent observation, though. Okay. Thomas Gerard. Okay. What you see is me looking, I'm looking down, I'm looking over my glasses. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's focusing beautifully. Does it default to manual? Is that what's...
No, it wasn't manual.
Okay.
Since responsiveness, I had it set low.
Oh, okay. Raymond again, holding his fists up, making a funny face. That's a funny face right there. Okay, now I go back to this. I think I'm getting... On a real TV production, you'd have a switcher who would be going, go to 1, go to 2, go to 3, go to 1, go to back to 3, trying to keep up with what I'm doing. But I am doing it, which is actually better. Okay, so here we go. Slippers, a lot of Raymond. Okay, Raymond also flexing again. What's with him flexing on this episode? I'm sure it comes out of insecurity. So let me just see this. People are blown away by the amount of detail. Oh, here's how Ray's watch and wedding ring were on the side table. And people will be like, did he take them off at night? Yes, I guess he did. Okay, go back to this. All right, the moment you see Patty, though, all right, we'll do this, and then I think we're going to say, let's see. There's Patty in beautiful pajamas. They are pink, I'm going to say. Right? Pink pajamas. They might be a repeat. Let me see if there's a note on the pajamas. Christian Dior nightshirt. Hot pink satin Christian Dior, all closed. Don't know what that means, all closed. I guess she's buttoned it to the top. Okay. Don't ask me how I figured that out, folks. I could be a detective. Patty looking down in that outfit. Okay, now somebody will have to have guessed by now. Let me just flip the page and see what we get. Patty looking down. Does she have a sleep mask on? That's so weird. And then Patty in also, and there's another scene also in those pajamas. Okay, I'm just scrolling through. Okay, there we go. Patty in that. Oh, different pajamas. Let's see what those pajamas are called. We are starting a chart of all of her pajamas because, let's face it, no human being has had that many pajamas. Doris Roberts, little white kabuki makeup. That tells me we're early on in the series. Peter Boyle, looking very healthy. Plaid, looking healthy. I'm just letting these go. Brad Garrett, There we go. And my PD shirt. Allie, Madeline Sweeten, okay, the twins, okay. So now we'll go back and look at her pajamas, but that was pretty clean. That was pretty good switching. All right, I think Thomas Gerard. Let me see. I think Thomas Gerard might have been the first one. Let's go back. The beauty of this is a timestamp. Let me go. Did Anita get it before? I'm reading it. So Thomas Gerard at 15:03. That's 3:03 my time. That's guessed it. Did somebody guess it before? Did theater and crew on tours? Okay, Kathy, that's good to know. Let me see. I think Thomas Gerard may have been the first one. I can go back. I don't want to give any, what is it called? Stolen valor or something? Or I don't know that, any of the prize money goes there. Anita John, the one where Allie sleeps in their bed. So Thomas Gerard, 1 minute earlier, calls it by its name. So I think we have to say that Thomas Gerard is a winner of that one. All right, I'm going to taste a snack. Let me go to the bottom. Yes. Ooh, those are my favorite PJs on her. Lilac stripes. Lilac stripes. Okay, let me go back into that, Annabelle. Then we'll change we'll take our little snack break. Lilac stripes. Let's see what they're called. Hold on. Don't panic. I will get these. I will get it here. Okay, so this is what you're talking about. Now, she wears them twice, which is interesting. Now, by the way, Patty should want, let me see. Let's see how my backwards camera work is. Patty should want that photo because she looks like a movie star there. And I'm guessing that's lilac, and I'm guessing those are stripes. Diamond studs, no watch, something. Okay, so we're going to stay in this position. And maybe, does it say what those are? Lilac, oh my goodness. They use the same color descriptor. Lilac ink set, all closed. Diamond studs, no watch. What does that say? Night on, blue hush puppies at bedside. How's that for a bunch of detail? Let me just bring up another one. Okay, that's the robe that everybody likes. Don't worry, folks, I will share this. Lilac, is that a lucky guess or did we know that? Okay, so those are the same ones. Those are the same ones. Look at those shoes. They look like therapeutic. Okay, can I stay in this frame and flip it up? Oh my goodness. Diamond studs, ring on, one-piece set, lilac ink self stripe. Something, no water, blue hush puppies. Okay, there you go. All right, let's taste something before. Okay, let me go back to the controversial shade. Here, look at this, folks. Oh, I don't want to knock over the things, but that's a shade. That's a physical object. That's a physical object. We will, by the way, shouldn't be that controversial, but it is. Okay, I'm grabbing the canister, which is extremely heavy. Whew, it really is heavy. Okay, is there a snack in here? Okay, hold this up for effect, and then I'll go to another. What is this? The BN smiley face, overly cute. This looks like a parody of an overly cute piece of toast winking at me. Right? What does that look like? Is that a piece of toast? So BN, okay, here we go. Again, we want to sell these someday. Very rock solid. Okay, let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do this. Does anybody know these? Does anybody know these cookies off the bat? Okay, let me go back to the canister there. Okay. We'll fix that shade because there shouldn't be that much controversy from a shade. All right, so here I am. It's a friendly enough looking character. What is BN? Chocolate smack. It looks French. I'm going to flip it over. It seems very French. Since 1897. Wow. People who are familiar with that country are screaming at me right now, going, Tom, how do you not know this? It's like I'm holding up a Chips Ahoy and going, oh, what is this product? Can we zoom in there? Yes. Okay. Let me see, is there any English on there? Because I'm very good at English-ish. There's every language but English. Oh, no, right there. Chocolate-flavored sandwich cookies. Okay. We will try these. Okay, let's do this. By the way, we're in a heat wave here, and my air conditioning is off in the studio for audio. What does that mean? It's very hot. Okay, let me do this. Let's see this. I accidentally muted me. When did I mute myself? How did I mute? How did I possibly mute it? All right. What I was saying is, this is a very European because it's a sweet tasting, it's not as sweet as an American thing. So what I was pointing out is that the guy's smiling right at you. There you go. It's very tasty. Again, completely unique flavor. Chocolate with a crumbly. By the way, I don't even know how can there be this many variations of cookies that are delicious? Okay, I'm gonna go back to this. There we go. Instagram. It helps me if I find the camera. I think it's wow, look at that smiley guy. Okay, so there you go. It's chocolate and then 2 layers with Mr. Smiley Man, and I'm still waiting for to see if there's any comments about what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. I'll try one more. I really like it because it's not that sweet. It's weird because also I think I'm hungry. I'm going to give this a 7.7. 7.7. It's very tasty. It also isn't that messy, which is a factor, especially if you're going in for kids. Okay. I'll just say 2 very quickly. All right, let me see the comments, other than the no sound aspect, which I apologize for. I don't know how do I hit a mute? I don't think I can do it on this soundboard, on this board, but I hit a mute. Okay. Let's go back. Did you bump the mute button, Tom? Sorry. BN stands for Biscuiterie Nantes Biscuits because they originated in Nantes, France. I think I've been to Nantes, France. It was in the middle of France. I think I was looking for Italy. Let me see. Okay. Deb Tucker, sorry. I may want more. Oh, from Donnell. Here we go, Donnell. Oh, you might put a piece of double-sided tape on the acrylic stand so the mugs don't slide off too easily. Donnell, you have been a font of knowledge. So those acrylic stands are phenomenal because, as you can see, the the mugs are staggered. So, and we, maybe we'll zoom on before. I tried those, very nice. I saw the canister on the Long Island exhibit. It is heavy. Denise, did they let you touch it? That would be surprising. Maybe it's, or you just saw it looking heavy. Let me see. Deb Tucker Frank, let's go back to this. Annabelle, you know your Purple family. The sister, when you guys were writing this specific episode, did you consider her choice as a permanent exit, or did you think she might return? I don't think that much thought went into it. Again, the Cookie Lady, Amy Aquino, just was so unbelievably good as an actress and as a nemesis of Raymond that we're like, this will be good. Anything that makes Raymond terrible, his life terrible, is good. The sister was kind of addressed kind of a different resident, so it was. I muted myself again just now. I don't know where the. So I'm looking, folks. We'll straighten that out.
not muted, are you?
Now I'm muted again. Okay, okay.
Shouldn't have something to do.
Could my phone be muting it? I don't know. Sorry. Yeah, so folks, what I'm looking at, this sophisticated program, it just keeps muting and we don't know why. But we'll solve the problem. It could. So. Wow. Don't know why it's muting. Seems like a good time to wrap up this broadcast. That's so interesting, folks. So I'm not even touching anything. My hands are up, officer, and it is muting on its own. So let me see. Does this cause it to mute? Doesn't make sense. Okay. Well, we're way over time anyway. We are having so much fun. Let's scroll down, and I'll try and keep it out. Yes, keeps going in and out. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, that's so weird. So it's got to be something. The problem, like anything else with electronics, you don't want it to be not solved. You want to know what's causing it. So I will stay on for 4 more hours until we can diagnose it. Oh, I will be trying this next week. What I wanted to show, let me show a photo of 2 birthday people who come one day apart, who are very nice people. Here's one. Okay, this is her with her mother. Let's see what happens here. Lily Rosenthal's birthday is today. Lily Rosenthal, I think it's very hard to believe that she's no longer a little kid, because let me see. Let me go back to this. Yeah, again, how weird is that it's, okay, let me look at an early, here's a couple of, here's, yes, Lily Rosenthal in a mirror, talking to me. Yes, I mean, looking at me in the mirror, posing as some people are known to do, especially of that generation. I'm looking for an early one of her with her father, her with me. I'm looking for an early one from the show, because she would come by the show very often, only she was much smaller. Okay, here we go. This is not on the show, but this is her with an icon of icons. I don't think you can get a bigger icon than this, which is Norman Lear. This was Lily's, that is Yael Groblas. She is an actress. And there is Lily on her 21st birthday, okay? And Norman Lear, so there you go. Wow, this feature is really helping me. Once we figure out why I'm being muted, could the audience be just trying to mute me remotely? Because that would be problematic. Okay, yeah, so there's no old pictures of Lily. And then let's look at one other one. Another person whose birthday was yesterday. And that person is, oh, this can be two birds with one stone here. Scrolling. That person is here as well. There you go. Ben Rosenthal, his birthday was 2 days ago. So there's Ben, there's Lily. You might recognize her father from a show called Everybody Loves Raymond, or Somebody Feed Phil. There you go. This is pretty cool. This is an unbelievably good feature. Okay, so happy birthday to Ben Rosenthal right there. And we'll figure out the muting problem. I wonder if there's just a touch. Okay, the return button mutes you. So my hand might have hit the return button. Good to know, everybody. All right, final look at comments, and then we must hang up because, whew, wow, too much fun every week. Okay, let me look at this. Here we go, scrolling down. That's why the return button is very close to another button there. Nice selection of old candy, yes. What a shame we can't hear a thing. Yes, Lynn, that's almost sarcasm. Or people are like, thank God we can't hear him anymore. I'm laughing now. It's as bad as the cashew brittle, yeah. Tom, you're going to need to fix the mute button. Seriously, man, it's been happening frequently. Yeah. Now we know. But I don't know what is hitting that.
These are lamps.
I sent you my analysis of where the Super Bowl promo ad was filmed. Did it seem accurate, or has the puzzle already been solved? Thomas Gerard, it has not been solved. It's in a park. It's either in North Hollywood or Burbank. I personally was there because I took the photos. But the street signs tell us it's North Hollywood, but I can't find the park. Where did you send that, Thomas Gerard? I don't see it. And again, just so you guys know, I get messages on X, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, personal message. So a lot of times, if you're like, why won't he answer my message? A lot of times I haven't seen it, and that includes friends where I'm like, oh, when did you send that to me on whatever thing, etc. So Ben is on. Sorry, Lily is not in any episodes, and Ben is in the Halloween candy episode, dressed as a fireman, taking candy at the door. For those you guys, let's see this. Let me see. Yeah, no, Donnell, we figured it out. All right, everybody. Let me take a screen grab just so I can see it, and I'll control it. Isn't that weird? Okay, now it's not muting it. Now the return is not. Maybe I'm not in the program. Yeah, now the return is not muting it. Why? Interesting. All right, folks, thank you very much for this week. I appreciate great guesses, everybody on the script. We'll see you next week. Thank you for all the comments. I do appreciate when you guys jump in and answer for me, or at least have the knowledge and answer, whether you're answering, quote unquote, for me or not. I do appreciate it. All right, have a good week, everybody. We will see you next week.